Welcome to another training video. We are excited today to talk about resources, important resources. As a new Scripture Notes user, you're going to be receiving emails going into these resources in depth, but today we will touch on all of them briefly.
Yeah, so this is just kind of a real quick demo to show you what's available in Scripture Notes. So I've opened up Genesis chapter 2 as an example here, and I'm just going to get started kind of top to bottom, I guess. If I click the R next to any chapter, it's going to list specific resources that are in there. And right now, these are all Come Follow Me resources that you're probably familiar with some of these. Like if I go down here and I expand Unshaken, there's a few icons here. I can play the audio for this. This is Jared Halverson's podcast, and his I can either do the audio or I can do the video. I know Talking Scripture has additional resources like their show notes and extra content, and so we link to those as well. If you click play video, it's actually going to load our media player and let you play the video right here in Scripture Notes right next to your scriptures. So you can have Genesis 1 and Moses 2 and Abraham 4 up right next to it, and as they're talking, take notes. So this is a great way to study Come Follow Me lessons and take notes in your own scriptures.
So those are all the resources just for chapter 2?
Just for chapter 2.
Wow.
So
Okay.
There's a lot that we've added into here. There's some unique things like the Skousen library is really cool. There's a lot that we've been able to add from them. And another thing, I'll just close this, the media player over here, if I close it, and you can also check off that you've completed that one. So when you come back to it, you'll see what you've done, you can do a different one next time around. I'm going to close that panel, but I'm just going to bring up the media player. You can paste any YouTube or Vimeo or MP3 audio link from the internet here, and it will open up the same player. So you might say, I want to watch this very informative video from somebody else, and you put it in there, and now you can study that way.
So is it like a URL?
Yes, you just
copy
go to
it,
YouTube,
okay.
just copy the URL, and paste it in there, and it will instantly pull it up.
Great.
Okay, so that's the first thing. The second one is this little map kind of symbol next to it. This is a cool project that was done at BYU, the scriptures mapped. And so whatever locations are mentioned in a chapter, it will put them on a map of the world, and you can see those locations on like this Google map. So you can like zoom in, zoom out. There's Assyria, Syria, and you've got the Euphrates and whatever other I don't know what is over here in chapter 2 that's mentioned as a location, but that's why it's there. If you ever don't see one of these resources, it means
There's
nothing in that chapter.
Okay.
You can also click like compare Moses 3 or Abraham 5, when you see that in the headers, and it will bring it up, and you can actually literally compare these right next to each other. So the next thing I wanted to cover is, toolbar resources. So if you are reading along, and let's just say you come down here and you are curious about the word mist. There went up a mist from the earth. Well, if you hover on the toolbar and click the 1828 Webster's Dictionary, that's going to take you out to that resource, and you'll see whatever he's written about it. This is a wonderful resource. I'm not going to go into a lot of depth, but he was very Christian, and a lot of his definitions have scriptures referenced in his definitions. The second link is going to take you to a lexicon out here on the Blue Letter Bible site, and I'm not going to go into a lot of depth here either, but that lets you see all the Hebrew and Greek words that have in the definition the word mist in some form. Now, mistress is not going to be anything close to mist, but you can see the ones that actually have mist in it, and you can go to those and see what resource definitions are there that you can benefit from. The third link is a thesaurus. And so sometimes you're doing a search and you're like, I don't know what other words I should search for. This will give you a good idea. So you might say, well, a mist is also like a cloud or fog or vapor. And so you could do a search in Scripture Notes and say mist or vapor or cloud or fog. And that's just a great way to be able to search the Scriptures more effectively, because sometimes a word is the same in Hebrew, but it gets translated different in the King James Version. And the last one is an etymology dictionary, which, some people asked for this and it was easy to add. So this just shows you like the history of the word mist, how it was used in the past, and it's sort of like a timeline of the word. So that's kind of cool. Okay, now other resources that we have. There's I'm going to go down here to this links one first. This is one of the best places to go next to every verse. So we've already talked about the AI assistant. The next one on here is Bible Hub. And by the way, on these, you can click this little eye to the side, and it will take you to a page that shows you a little bit more information about it. Bible Hub, when I open that up, this will give you like 29 translations of that verse from Bible scholars, different people who have translated the Bible. And there's also commentary out here, and you can access the Hebrew or the Greek for that verse. So that's a wonderful resource. But for Hebrew and Greek, I prefer the Blue Letter Bible site. This one, you come out here and you click Strong's up here at the top, and it will show you the words that Strong's used to index all of the Hebrew and Greek words that were used for the Scriptures. So if I click God, that says H430 there. If I click that, that is going to take me to the word Elohim, which we're probably familiar with. And it will show all the ways it was translated in the King James Version, and the outline of biblical usage, and then his definition down here. So that's an awesome, awesome resource. The next one is the LDS Citation Index. This is also a project at BYU. You can like sort of reverse look up. You go from a verse into like a journal of discourses or a conference talk where that verse was mentioned. So I could click that and say, okay, here's where Genesis 2, 1-3 was mentioned. But you'll notice back here, if I go to Genesis 2, like if I said verse 2, well, here's Genesis 2:2, but it's also included in all these other ranges. So this isn't quite like a perfect tool to say, show me everything that's referenced verse 2. You might have to click a lot of these links and look at a lot of resources that include that range. So anyway, that's an awesome resource. And then this is one of my favorites. The Joseph Smith Translation Project has this inline comparison tool that was done by a guy back in Missouri that's a member of the Church of Christ or Community of Christ Church. And this shows everything that Joseph Smith added to the King James Version in green, and everything he removed struck out in red.
Wow, that's really handy, actually.
Yeah, it's really cool to look at because you can just see, like, instantly what changes were made in a given chapter. And then add to VerseVault. And we'll talk about VerseVault in another, that's our little memory tool. We'll talk about that in another episode. Now, this is how to bookmark a verse. So that's handy when you are done reading for the night. You can go to bookmarks and see what you have bookmarked. That's just there in that link icon.
If you click the X, does that remove the bookmark?
It will.
Okay.
From this list.
From the list and also from the verse?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's taking the bookmark and just removing it from your database.
Okay,
and
that's nice.
I need to clean up my bookmarks.
Yeah, you got a lot of bookmarks.
I got a few there. Okay, so the next resource we want to cover is the green eye. Okay, now you'll see that this one up here is like a gray, and then you hover on it to click and it says see notes. The green eye means that you have a collection note associated with that verse. So I click that and I can see that I do have a collection note. I can see LDS footnotes and topical guide entries, Bible dictionary entries, and any public collections from others. Now, you cannot click and we do not have the letters associating the footnotes. So you kind of have to interpret where the footnotes would go in that verse. But the topical guide entries you can click in the Bible dictionary. So I can click Breath of Life, and it's going to bring that up over here, and I can study right from that. So that's got your LDS related notes in it. You also from here can create a collection note just of that verse. This can actually come in really handy if you say, I've got a big quote, I want to save it and share it with somebody. You can create a collection note dedicated to that one verse. Or sometimes it's just a quick way to get a collection note up on screen. We'll talk more about other ways to use collection notes in another video. But that's pretty much the resources that you have at your fingertips with these links, either the toolbar or the eye icon or the link icon. And that's pretty much it.
Perfect. Try them out this week.